All right, now that I have this thing, I can get all of the nodes connected to this first one and use that. I should probably go get that thing. Panel dot get connected labels. So that's the array list, and now I need to hold on to that. This will be this new array list.size. And then I'm going to have to check each of these. So when I say check each connected node, the idea is that I'm going to take each of these edges that was corresponding to an edge in my graph, and I need to add each of those connections to my queue. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to enqueue each of those labels. All right, so this thing here, that's the initial connection. So I create my queue and my connected list. I add the first node into the whole thing. I go grab the first node out of the set of connections, so the series of trues that are down this, and I add each of them into the queue. Then comes the part where I actually keep on going until I've found all of my connections. So while I've not found everything, I'm going to keep pulling things out of the queue. So I'm going to grab the current node out of this. That'll remove it. Then I need to basically add it to the connected list if it doesn't already exist. So if contains is false, then I need to add it in. And then I'm going to do a similar for loop that I did up here for actually adding all the things in. So I have to watch out for not redeclaring edges. I can just use the same one again. There's one extra thing I have to watch out for here. I have to make sure that this particular label is current node, first of all. So that's the label that I'm going to be checking against. And the other thing is I need to make sure that the things that it is connected to, each of these edges, make sure that that's not already in my connected list. Otherwise, I'll get a infinite loop where I keep on adding the same edges in over and over again. So if that is false, then I add it back in. So the first, if we look at a particular graph, so let's do this graph here. So if you look at the adjacency matrix down here, what we're going to do is, if we start with A and check to see if it connects to D, we start with node A. A gets put in our connected list, and it enqueues B and C because those are the two things connected to it. We then pull out the B node. We add that to the connected list, and then we look at A and say, oh, that's already in our connected list, so we don't need to add that again. That is this line right here, where we check to make sure it's not already in our connected list. And then we add in C, which isn't in our connected list, so it gets added in again. C has been added in twice, once from A and once from B. That's all right. It'll get thrown out later. We grab the C the first time, because the queue is still not empty. C is in there twice. We try adding an A and B, but neither of those will go in since they're already in the list. C gets added in because it adds itself. So right here. And then we add in D. C and D are left. C gets added in again, but all of the things in there are already connected. D finally tries to add itself, and C is already in there. So we end up finishing up our queue. All right, so now that we have this thing, the final answer to our whole question is whether or not the second text field is in our connected list. So if connected list contains second node dot get text, we're going to print out a message that says they are connected. Otherwise, they are not. A, B, C. Let's see if A and C are connected. Good. Let's add an edge between A and B. Another edge between B and C. Now are they connected? They are. Let's try something much more convoluted. So let's add an edge here, and an edge here, and an edge here. Are A and F connected? What if I added an edge here? Perfect. I think I got this. So the big thing with this whole project is using a queue where we keep adding things into our queue in order to process information. This would be the sort of thing that you would also do in queuing jobs that needed to be done, where you could actually put them in the order you want them to process in and then finish up. So queues are useful in a variety of different contexts.